Earthlings, thank you for joining us today on our daily edition of New Hope Radio. Glad to have you come along with us today. Great day today. Beautiful sunny day here in New England. I know we've got some pretty tough weather going on all over the country, but we're blessed right now and we'll take it one day at a time. Pray for those that are suffering from the floods and the tornadoes and the fires, and man, there's a lot of chaos and calamity going on weather-wise all over the place. So we'll rejoice in what we've got today, because you never know how long it's going to last, do you? Okay, thanks for coming along today. Got a good topic on hand, so I'm glad you're with us. Why many people are unfulfilled. Why do you think? Let me ask you this. Are you fulfilled in life, or are you unfulfilled? And there is a difference between being fulfilled and busy. Okay? Being busy doesn't necessarily mean you're fulfilled. As a matter of fact, it doesn't mean you're fulfilled at all. When you're busy, you can just get like one out. When you're fulfilled, it's more like a contentment. It's more like a satisfaction. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and I hope it's something that'll resonate with you and will help you. If you're not fulfilled, maybe it'll help you to get to that place. If you are fulfilled, maybe it'll help you to stay at that place and keep doing the things that you're doing. May 12th is that concert I've been talking about. Jason Gray. It's a Friday night. Tickets are $15, and a big part of that goes to our orphan program in Togo, West Africa, taking children off the streets that don't have parents, placing them in extended family, paying their way, sending them to school, buying them a uniform, and giving them a shelter and a home and a family that they can live with. So it's a good reason to come to the concert, not only to hear great music, but to donate, because part of the proceeds are going to go to the Love the Children Fund, which we're seeking to pick up 25 more kids off the streets and put them in homes where they can be cared for. So come on out. You can get your tickets here at New Hope, or you can get them at itickets.com. And I'm going to give away 2 tickets right now. First caller, right now, boom, you'll get 2 free tickets to the concert. So give us a call, 508-324-4500. Okay? 508-324-4500. Call us up right now. First one gets 2 tickets to the concert. May 12th, Jason Gray, 7 p.m. Okay, let's get right at it. Tell me if you agree with this. A barren life is a fruitless life. Right? If something's barren, well, then it would be fruitless. And then part B, a fruitless life is a lonely life. So you start off being barren and you end up being lonely. You think a lot of people live in that place? You think they're there? Well, there's a way out. And it has to do, obviously, with your relationship with God. And, when we talk about a relationship with God, we're not talking about being religious. We're talking about having a personal, one-on-one relationship with Him. I'm like, is that hard? Is it that difficult? If you have a relationship with a friend, it's pretty easy to do. And you have a relationship with God, that's pretty easy to do too. So, when you have a relationship with God and you're serious about it, it brings with it many benefits. You know what it gives you? Purpose, understanding about life, assurance, and fellowship. What's fellowship? Fellowship is like, camaraderie. That's great. Now, that's just a few things. So today, I want to look at something, and I want us to see that having a serious relationship with God also produces, here it comes, fulfillment in life. And that's why I said, hey, you can be busy. That doesn't mean you're fulfilled. Oh, you got a lot to do, a lot going on. Every minute is packed with something. That's not being fulfilled. That's just being busy. So there is a difference. Okay? Now, we all probably have areas of our life where we feel either fulfilled or empty, right? In your marriage, you can feel fulfilled or you can feel empty. At work, when you do your job, you could feel fulfilled or you could feel empty. With your friendships, you could have great friends and feel, oh, so fortunate and fulfilled, but you could also feel empty, even though you have a lot of people you hang around with. Even at church, some people feel very fulfilled and some still feel empty. And why is that? What's the difference? Well, I can come up with two reasons why. Reason number one is our ears, and reason number two is our heart. That's why. There's a problem with the ears, and there's a problem with the heart. And that's why many people are unfulfilled today. Now, you know that the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone, right? But did you know that the ear is connected to the heart? And when I say the heart, I mean the place where you think. Out of the heart flow the issues of life. So the heart is like control central, okay? It's where my thoughts are stored. It's where I process information to make good choices, all right? So there's a connection between how we hear and what we think. That's what I'm saying today. And Jesus explained to us how this works, okay? He told a parable. What is a parable? It's a story with a practical meaning. Now, the Bible tells us in Matthew 13 that large crowds gathered to him. And why is it that so many crowds gathered around Jesus? You know why? Because they were looking for fulfillment. That's why. A lot of empty people. There's always been empty people. Every millennial or millennium, every generation, every decade, there are unfulfilled, empty people. Okay? And it says that he spoke many things to them in parables, saying, behold, the sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some seeds fell beside the road, and the birds came and ate them up. So here's a farmer. He's throwing seed because he's got a farm and he's going to plant crops. Some of the seed fell by the road. The road is really the path through the garden that you walk through. Okay? And the birds came and ate them up. Others fell on the rocky places where there wasn't much soil. This is like shallow soil. Maybe it was like bedrock. Maybe a half-inch of dirt, and then there was the bedrock underneath. And immediately it sprang up, but it had no depth of soil. It was like the heat from the rock caused it to germinate, but that's about all it did. When the sun came out, the plants were scorched because they had no root, and they withered away. Others fell among the thorns, and the thorns came up and choked them out. See, we're talking about people with different kinds of ears. Oh, these are people with different kinds of ears. Maybe you'll find yourself in this story. Some fell among the thorns came and choked them out. Others fell on the good soil. That's good, deep, rich soil. And what happened? It yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30-fold. And then Jesus ended the story and he said, oh, he who has ears, let him hear. Now everybody has ears. So what does it mean? He who has ears, let him hear. Everybody has ears. We're going to see what he meant today. The disciples asked Jesus why he spoke in parables. Like, Jesus, why do you tell stories with these meanings that are like hidden inside? Why can't you just tell us plainly? Why do you have to tell these stories? And he answered them, and you know what he said to them? So the proud and the willingly ignorant won't understand. Did Jesus want everybody to understand what he was saying? No. And you know why? Because he didn't want prideful people to understand what he was saying. He wanted them to deal with their pride. He didn't want people that are willingly ignorant to understand. He wanted them to deal with that pride. See, if you're ignorant, he wants you to learn. But if you're willingly ignorant, hey, that's your choice. That's where you're at. So he's like, I tell these stories and parables because prideful people, they're lost. They're like, what's he saying? What did he say? But people that are humble and want to learn, boom, they're going to get it. Okay? So then he begins to explain the story. He said, okay, now this is the parable of the sower. 4 types of hearers, 2 results. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what has been sown in his heart. This is the one on whom seed was sown beside the road. So it's a path. What is a path? Hard. It's hard. And this hard road person, it's like their heart is hard and nothing can get in. And Jesus said they can't understand. The word understand, that's a compound word. It means with and to put. To put together with. In other words, you put together in your mind circumstances and truth, and you put them together, and now you have understanding. But if you take your circumstances and you don't add truth to them, then you don't have understanding. And if you refuse to find truth and add truth to the circumstances, then you remain willingly ignorant and you won't understand. Okay? Then he said, the one on whom seed was sown on the rocky places, this is the man who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. It's like, oh yeah, man, that was good. I like that. But the rocky places, like I said, it speaks of shallow soil. It's not soil with a lot of rocks. It's soil on top of a big flat rock. And the soil's only a half an inch deep. And the roots can't go down, so it never develops a root system. So when it does spring up, the sun dries it up and it withers and it's gone. This is a picture of the impulsive, emotional hearer. This person is superficial. They're very superficial. I think of those that maybe go to church on Christmas and Easter, and they love it. But then, nothing happens. See you next Easter. See you next... Oh, that was a great service today. Man, I love that. Love the music. Love the message. Great people. That was awesome. I'll be back next year. Why do they wait a whole year to come back? Because they don't understand. That's why. It's an emotional response, but there's no root. And then what happens, things in life get difficult, and they wither away. Things push them away. Things kind of like, there's trials and tribulations and turmoil, and it pushes them away. And they have to realize, hey, that life is filled with trials. Life is filled with turmoils. That should drive me, closer to God, not further from God. So Jesus said, when this seed was sown on the rocky soil, the reason this person and this plant withers and dries and dies, because he has no firm root in himself. It's only temporary. And when afflictions or persecution arises because of the word, immediately he falls away. So he doesn't have the ability to live in the truth that he heard, because it's emotional. It's just an emotional response. And it really didn't take root. It didn't go deep into his heart and get a hold of him. See, that's what we have to do. We have to listen to truth, and we have to say, like, okay, I really want this. I really want this truth in my life. But if you're like, nah, I'm not into truth, not going to get it. It's not going to happen. The one on whom seed was sown among the thorns. This is the man that hears the word, the worry of the world and the deceitfulness of wealth chokes the word, and it becomes unfruitful. Thorn means he's choked by the cares of this life. It's a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, and also the deceitfulness of riches. pursuing that which is not the best goal. You pursue riches, that is not a noble goal. It isn't. It's not noble to pursue riches. Do you realize that there are people that have made phenomenal contributions to humanity, and they never pursued riches? We have breakthroughs in medicine and in science and in archaeology. They didn't pursue riches. They pursued something else, something far greater. I would say, don't lower yourself to a life of pursuing riches. Man, that is like so low. That is like a low goal. It really is. Shoot for the stars. Make a difference. Make an impact. This guy, his life is unfruitful. What did we say in the beginning? When your life is unfruitful, you're fruitless, and when you're fruitless, you're lonely. I mean, does anybody really want to get to the end of their life and look at it and say, what did I do with my life? Did I offer anything beneficiary to the world, to someone else? Was I a giver or was I a taker? You know, we all have to ask ourselves the wonderful gift of life. If life is a gift, if you're alive today, and I hope you are, life is a gift. What do you do with the gift? Hopefully, you make the most out of it that you possibly can. Don't waste it. Don't spend it. Invest it. You know, when you spend money, you don't have much to show for it. When you invest money, you get more back. When you spend your life, you don't have much to show for it, but when you invest your life, you're going to get more back. That's what you do. You invest your life. And then finally, we got the fourth person. The one on whom seed was sown on the good soil. Is that you? Are you good soil? This is the one who hears the word, and understands it. Makes the connection between the circumstances and truth, and he puts them together. Now he indeed bears fruit and brings forth some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30. And why is it, that this is good soil? Why weren't the other guys good soil? They could have been. Here's the difference. You know why this was good soil? Because this was prepared soil. See, any good farmer, he knows that in the spring, he has to get out on the farm and he has to prepare the soil. He doesn't just go out there and sow seed. No, he's going to plow the soil. He's going to remove the debris. You know, throughout the fall and the winter, there's a lot of junk that accumulates on the farm. So he's going to remove maybe broken tree branches and stuff that gets in the way and thorns that have grown up. And he gets on the plow and he turns over the soil and he gets it nice and soft and he prepares it, and now he can sow the seed. So when we talk about people, we're talking about a prepared heart. Is your heart prepared to receive the truth of God? That's why some people can sit in church and it's like, okay, when's the show over? I can't wait to get out of here, because their heart is not prepared. Others can go to church and they feel like they're at a banquet meal and they're loving every minute. Why? Because their heart is prepared. How do you prepare your heart? There's different things you can do. Most church services begin with worship, beautiful singing, that prepares the heart. Having a heart of humility, where you say to yourself, I'm going to learn something today. I'm not just going because I have to. I'm going because I want to learn something. I want to learn about life. I want to learn about me. I want to learn about God and how they all fit together. That's humility. Another way is through servanthood. Being a servant to other people. You know what serving does? Oh yeah, keeps your heart soft. It does. Being served can make you hard-hearted, can make you prideful and arrogant. But being a servant will keep you humble. So it keeps your heart soft. And then, of course, study of the scriptures. Studying prepares your heart. Wanting to know, looking at your life and say, I got some areas of my life, I need some direction. I need some wisdom. I need some help. And you know that God was the creator of all life. He can give you just what you need. So you have a prepared heart. And when your heart is prepared, you are on the road to fulfillment. You know why? Because your life will be fruitful. Now, I'm going to give you a recipe for a prepared heart. Okay, here's a little recipe. It's from the scriptures, 2 Peter chapter 1, and Peter said, now for this reason also, here's what you can do. Apply diligence. Be a diligent individual. Don't be someone that's just like, whatever. No, be diligent about your faith. Be diligent. Be intentional. Okay? Then he said, when you get that faith, supply moral excellence. What's moral excellence? Live above the common man. Live above the way of the world. Be noble. Have a high standard for your life. Don't be a low life. Be a high life. Okay? Then, in your moral excellence, add knowledge. You want to grow. It should be fun to learn. It should. Everybody that wants to learn will learn. And that person will grow. Okay? Okay, so you add knowledge to your moral excellence. Be a learner. In your knowledge, oh boy, here it comes. You've been waiting for this. Self-control. You know what self-control is? Yeah, discipline. Okay, I'm going to discipline every fiber of my being. I'm going to discipline what goes into my mouth. I'm going to discipline what comes out of my mouth. I'm going to discipline where my feet go. I'm going to discipline what my hands do. I'm going to lead a disciplined life. Why? Because I'm going for the gold. I mean, come on. Look at these Olympic athletes. They're some of the most disciplined people in the world. You know why? They're going for the gold. And they're going for an award that is tarnished. You're going for a reward that's eternal. It's incorruptible. It's imperishable. And you'll have it forever and ever and ever. In your self-control, add perseverance. Don't be a quitter. Quitters never win. And winners never quit. Don't quit. Okay? Persevere. And in your perseverance, godliness. What is godliness? I'm going to walk with God. That's right. I'm not going to be religious. I'm going to walk with Him. We're going to be friends. We're going to walk together through life. And in your goodness, brotherly kindness. And you know what? I'm going to help other people along the way. That's brotherly kindness. I want to be someone that makes somebody else's life a little better. That's what you say. That's how you get there. That's how you prepare your heart. So your heart is good soil, and it makes a difference. There's not enough brotherly kindness in the world. There's a lot, but there's not enough. We need more. And in your brotherly kindness, add love. Now this love is very special. It's agape love. Agape love is an unconditional love. It's loving the stranger. It's loving the unlovely. It's loving that person at work that's hard to love. Or maybe that person at work that nobody else loves, that nobody likes them. But you know what? You can love them. When you love someone, you change them. The only way to change someone is to love them. The more you love them, you know how God changes us? He loves us. He tells us how much He loves us, and we change, and we respond back to that love. And then Peter said, for if these qualities are yours, all these qualities that I just mentioned, there's a lot of them, right? What do we say they were? Quick review. Diligence, faith, moral excellence, knowledge, self-control, perseverance, godliness, brotherly kindness, and love. If these qualities are yours and are increasing, they render you neither, here it comes, unfruitful in the true knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. That means your life is going to mean something, it's going to add up to something, that your life will be fruitful, it will be fulfilled. This is the recipe for a fulfilled life. Anybody can have it. No one needs to go through life empty, stagnant, aimless, lonely. No one needs to go through life that way. God has given us a recipe for fulfillment, not busyness. Oh, you can be busy. What does that do? That just makes you tired. You can be fulfilled. You know what that does? That'll give you sweet dreams. To be fulfilled. To know that you have been used to be a blessing to others. I mean, that's the goal of every person, isn't it? To be fulfilled? I think so. Why'd you buy that house? Why'd you buy that car? Why do you have that job? Why'd you marry that person? Why'd you get that dog? Because we all want to be fulfilled. And yet, we can have all those things and not necessarily be fulfilled at all. Because the ear and the heart have to be connected. And we have to connect them with truth. And this is the recipe for fulfillment. And you can have it. Hey, thanks for coming along today. And have a great day. Don't forget that concert, May 12th. Jason Gray is going to be incredible. $15 a ticket. Support a street kid in Togo, West Africa. Let's get him off the streets. Get him in a home. Okay? Thanks for coming along. I'll see you next time for more of New Hope Radio.